The Maze Runner reboot in the works with Transcendence, Scribe, Jack, Paglen in talks to write. Larry, have you seen The Maze Runner?
I have. I've seen all of them.
What you think?
Um, you know, you know what's funny about them? When I watched them, I enjoyed them. But I couldn't tell you right now if you asked me what they were about, besides just telling you it was like some sort of post-apocalyptic dystopian world, so like adapted from a YA series of books. I couldn't tell you like specifically what the plot lines and stuff were. So, but I do remember enjoying them when they were out.
Yeah.
And I feel like they came out on sort of when these YA, dystopian, sort of movies or books were being adapted to movies like The Hunger Games and the Divergent series. And so I was watching them, I was enjoying them. I had a niece that was a teen at the time, and she was like, "Hey, Uncle, I'm reading the Hunger Games thing. Why don't you read it with me?" So I went and got it, and I was like, "Oh, these are some good books." So I started reading. I read them all, and then I started reading the Divergent series, and then the Maze Runner series. So, I mean, I enjoyed the movies. But out of those three series, that's the one that I can't really tell you as much about. So, but I have to say I enjoyed it enough, the movies enough, that I will watch. I will look forward to the new one that comes out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like you. I enjoy them. You know, we have the Maze Runner, the Scorch Trials, and also the Maze Runner, the Death Cure. I really did like the first two. I remember seeing the Scorch Trials in theaters. I remember at one point, I think it was Scorch Trials Part Two. They was running through one part, and it was nothing. It was a bunch of lightning strikes hitting the ground or going off. And I remember saying to myself, "Damn, those visuals are amazing." It was some of the best visuals I've seen in quite some time. On Rotten Tomatoes, the first one got a 65 from the critics, 68 from the audience. The part two, not so well. And again, like I said, I enjoyed this one. I really did. And there may even be a review on my channel from way back in the day. You guys can go look. And then Death Cure, I don't remember this one. I don't think I remember loving it either. As far as money is concerned, a $34 million budget, it made some bread. So that's good. That's pretty dope right there.
They said it was a surprise hit, and I was thinking like, I don't know why it was such a surprise. It was coming on the heels of all those sort of YA dystopian, stories. And that was like a big thing in
Yeah.
that era. And it seems like it seems like it would be sort of a no-brainer that this was going to make a lot of money. The books were a hit. The other sort of dystopian series that were coming out were hits. It didn't seem like it would have been a big surprise that this would make a ton of money.
Yeah. Part two, it 61 million dollar budget, 312, not as profitable, but still profitable. And the Death Cure, 62 million, still profitable, not as much, but it was dipping. It was going down. And so the reason why we're talking about that is it made enough money for them to want to keep it going. And apparently that's what's happening. For topic number 3, for Moving News Roundup 126 from Hollywood Reporter, the Maze Runner, get out of the way, ad. The Maze Runner reboot in the works with Transcendence, Scribe, Jack. Let me read that again. The Maze Runner reboot in the works with Transcendence, Scribe, Jack, Paglen in talks to write. And so, first thing I said to myself when I hear that this is already they're making a reboot, it hasn't even been 10 years since the last film came out. It's been 10 years since the first one came out. And in my opinion, that's too soon, but that's exactly what they say right here. Oh, Lord. The trilogy ran from 2014 to 2018. The Disney arm in negotiations to tap Jack Paglen, perhaps best known for writing the Johnny Depp starring sci-fi movie Transcendence, to pen the script for a new installment. Ellen Goldsmith Vine and Lee Stolman and Gotha Group and Wick Godfrey and all these other names who produced the original trilogy are back to produce this one. Wes Ball, who directed the original trilogy, will also be involved as a producer. I don't think he should be involved because I want a fresh take on this. According to sources, the reboot is not a redo of the story, nor is it a direct sequel to the original trilogy. The hope is to make a sort of continuation of the story, yet also return to the elements that made the first movie connect with its audience. The original movie, made by 20th Century Fox, is now owned by Disney. In the years leading up to its acquisition by Disney, also proved to be an unexpected moneymaker, as you said, Larry, generating $348 million worldwide, but only costing $35 million to make. And we just went over that as well. I mean, okay, what I like about this is this part right here. According to sources, the reboot is not a redo of the story, nor is it a direct sequel. It's kind of a continuation. That right there is the only reason this has my interest. Does that change how you feel about it, or you don't really?
Yeah, because I don't necessarily want to see them do a. I mean, maybe a direct sequel could be good if it's following along with the books, or maybe a short story that the author put out or something. But I guess I'm glad that they're sort of evolving and not just going back to the well trying to do a money grab. So.
Yeah.
And that's what some of those feel like when they just basically go back to the same well. So I'm glad that even though it's going to be the same world, the same, Maze Runner world, that they're going to do a little bit something different. So I don't know. That's the thing that gets me. I can't remember how the series ended, but if Dylan O'Brien's character, what was it, Thomas, if he's still alive, it would be great to see him come back as a little bit older person in there. So I just like him as an actor. I liked him when I first saw him in Teen Wolf as Styles. I liked him in The Maze Runner. I liked him when he was in American Assassin, when he was playing what's that character's name? Mitch Rapp. I mean, I like the dude as an actor. I like the roles that he plays. I would like to see him come back in this. So
yeah, I like him too. So I'm not mad at you for that at all. And so, yeah, guys, a link is in the description. Again, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, that we're getting some type of continuation of the Maze Runner, and I like more of them. I like the first two. Part 3 was okay, and so I'm cool with this right here. Like I said, link is in the description. And whether you're watching this via live on the replay, let us know your thoughts in that chat, in that comment section below, because we both will really, really appreciate it.